What's another main decision that you think is a lot of different companies or companies' customers are having to make in order to move forward with them?
So I think there's several. So there's this decision of the just the economy. I mean, right now we're going into election season, and the election's just right around the corner, and so there is just that overall kind of, is how is this decision going to be impacted based upon the economy that we're in, the stock market, the interest rates, the who's going to be the president of the United States, all these things. So I think that's, do I feel safe to buy right now from an economic perspective? We obviously talked about the financial decision. How is
Oh,
this
we
going to
did, yes.
how is this going to impact me personally? So economic climate is more, do I feel like it's a good decision in light of what's going on in the world and the economy, versus the financial decision is how is it going to impact me personally?
Well, I think it's something that's interesting. I think a lot of times customers will say, I'm not sure if it's the right time to buy. And what I've seen with salespeople is they'll think that that's something personally, like maybe it's they're saying time because it's financial, or time because I don't know if something in that person's life, when really what they're saying is I don't know if it's the right time to buy economically. And so being comfortable talking about what's happening in the economy and talking about how that will or will not affect their purchase is a big one. But I think it comes in code words sometimes with time.
It does. And so that's actually a really good question to frame back to them. So if they were to say, I'm not sure it's the right time to buy, then I think you would just ask that question. You would say, what's your criteria to determine when is the right time to buy for you? And I think if you just asked it like, I know if you just asked it like that, then they would immediately tell you the first thing that comes to mind, and it would say something to do with their job security, or something to do with the economy, or something to do with the interest rates, or something to do with just, is it the right, they've got the holidays coming up and they want to spend money, on this, or other decisions they're trying to make. So I mean, they're going to tell you. I mean, they'll just tell you by asking them back that question.
Yeah, or the status of their company. We're getting ready to start our new fiscal year, or it's budgeting season, which says, hey, that time is a financial decision here versus something else. Or no, we're waiting. We think somebody might get bought out, and we need to know how that's going to affect us right now in the time.
Well, and to your point of they're going to actually, because they're going to tell you too about how is it going to affect their own personal time. So, because like from a business perspective, we're called on a lot in our company, and if I was to say to someone, I'm just not sure this is the right time. I mean, one of my answers would be the financial and the economic, but another one of my answers would be, this is going to require my personal time. I'm going to have to put time into this in order to get this project off the ground, or one of my employees or one of our employees have to do this. And so, do they have the time to actually do this? So
Ooh, that's great.
It's not just buying it.
And that's clear for business to business, but also business to consumer.
Sure.
Because if I think I have to manage my own landscaping project, or I have to manage the pool project myself, then that's something else for the salesperson to let me know about the project management and how they're handling it. And hey, Mary, this is how much time it will take from you, versus we've got this. Like, it doesn't, the time, if the time's a thing, that's actually not an issue at all, because I'm going to manage this for you. I've got you in this, and you don't have to worry about it.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So, but I don't think a lot of salespeople are they don't remember that. They don't pay attention to being clear with a person on, here is how much time is going to be required of you in order to do this. And again, if you're charging more than your competition, part of that charging more is that you're removing the time constraint from the customer. So, for example, like, a mom and pop chuck in a truck option will require a lot more time from the consumer who's purchasing it, from the business or from the individual consumer. Versus if you're paying more for something and you're hiring a company that has more resources, then the expectation would be is that because I'm paying more, you're going to handle more of it, and I'm going to handle less of it. But that's not clearly explained well enough in most cases.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of the reasons the price is more. And I think that's a huge thing. I think a great question that we can ask people is, how much time are you wanting to devote to this project? Whether that's to a business owner or to a homeowner, how much time are you wanting to give to this? And especially if you're working for a bigger company, because then they say, well, not very much. I have this much time. You're like, great. Like, here's we're a good option for you. Here's the way to go. Now, and I think if we can always look at how to make it easy for people. So you say many, many times for forever that the number one rule of selling is to make it easy for people to buy. But I think it's also is make it easy for them to continue buying, or make it easy for them to be a customer, as opposed to, oh yeah, it's super easy to buy, but now as a customer, I'm going to require so much work from you and so much time from you and answers from you so quickly. So keep the easy going.
Yes, we need to keep the easy going. But in a way to keep the easy going is by chunking down those decisions as much as possible, is making all those decisions as kind of micro as possible. So, so again, let's go to the idea of you are, just give me something to sell. What's a concept that we can,
something that you want to sell?
Stop about the Army.
Right? Okay, great.
Okay, so we did a lot of work with the Army. We had great success. They have their salespeople, right? They've got these recruiters that are there to take a high school kid through a process of deciding if they're going to serve this great country and be a soldier, which is awesome. It's a great job. And so we had to take them through a process of what are those decisions that a person needs to make. And, obviously the first decision is are you happy with your current life track? Like, that was a decision. So it wasn't, and the mistake the Army was making when we first took over is they went in, guns blazing, no pun intended, to this, let me tell you why you should join the Army. Like, that was like, tell me why you want to join the Army. Here's all the benefits of the Army. Here's how great the Army is. But they were just missing the mark, because that wasn't the decision that the high school kid wanted to make right now. The high school kid was not ready to make the decision of, am I ready to join the Army? The high school kid needed to make the first decision, which is like, am I happy with my current life path? Am I happy with, because right now I'm about to graduate high school, and then like, what am I going to do next? And if they're happy with what they're going to do next, then probably the Army is not right for them. But if they're unhappy with what they're going to do next, then the Army is one of the options that they can make. Still not the option they can make, but it's one of the options. And so I think, I know a big kind of next step for every salesperson listening right now is they need to make a list of all of the decisions that their customers need to make in order to feel the overall peace and freedom and resolution of making the biggest decision of, am I going forward with this purchase or not? Am I choosing this person or not?
I love it. Well, and it's a slow down to speed up mentality, because what we saw there, and it's been the same in every industry we've jumped into, is loving the boldness of, are you ready to sign up today? Sign the contract today. And the people that do that, I love. I mean, that's great. I love that energy and the boldness of it. But wait and go, wait, we got to slow down, because there's other things they have to do to get there. Again, the paradox. Slow down to speed up, another paradox.